idea for this documentary first came to me, I set out to figure out why young African Americans weren't getting married. As I began to discuss it with my producing partner, we realized this conversation was an onion, layers upon layers. Most of my close circle of friends were married or engaged or at least involved in committed relationships, and most of my guy friends were heavily involved in their children's lives. So then I began to wonder, are all the things we hear about African American relationships just urban legends? But more importantly, I wanted to know, when did it stop being cool to be in love?
Yeah, where is the love?
No,
where is the love?
Being an African American couple, as it relates to other cultures, I think the way people view us, the way people expect us not to be married, or the way people expect us to be a single parent family, or even come from a single parent family or something like that.
Whenever I hear people discuss the state of black romance, it's made out to be in a crisis state. So I wanted to talk to all types of African Americans, single, divorced, married, baby mamas and daddies, those shacking, as the old people say, and those who are just not sure where they stand.
I just think overall, as far as marriage in the black community, you know, to a certain degree, it's a fight. And the reason why I say that is because you don't see a lot of positive role models when it comes to marriage. You know, I come from a family where my parents have been married. This year will be 53 years, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? As opposed to, so I always saw marriage as something that I wanted to attain from a young child growing up. You know what I mean? I knew I wanted to get married. I had the fairy tale dream of my Prince Charming coming and taking me away, and you know, that whole thing. So that's something that I held on to. But not only did I see that, I saw my mother work, I saw my father work, I saw them come together, I saw them pay bills together. We went on vacation every summer. You know what I mean? So I saw a lot of positive things as far as marriage is concerned. But I think that, I don't know if I can say that we necessarily struggle with anything, because our foundation is God and the fact that we're friends first.
It's important that you seek out people who are going to give you more, and also to require, because when you first start a relationship with someone, you don't know, whether they're how truthful they are. You don't know what they're what they want in a relationship. Hopefully, they know.
If you marry a duck, it's going to be a duck when you wake up the next morning.
Absolutely.
So you better prepare yourself, B. You gotta
learn how to quack and waddle.
But if you don't have any expectations, then you get only what they're going to give you. But if you say to someone, hey, before we have a intimate physical relationship, we're going to talk about issues, we're going to talk about having kids, we're going to talk about all through these issues, then you have a better way of getting what you want, which is a long-term relationship.
Both of us came from two-parent households. We had very, very strong upbringings as far as discipline and going to school and getting your grades and what's important. We had good role models to look at as far as marriages, and like I said, I grew up in the country. It's very, very hard for me to remember anyone who didn't have both parents living at home. That would have been odd for me to have even seen that. So I think there are a lot of misconceptions.
I'm going to explain to you the whole mindset of a black man. This is my opinion of it. Some of us are scared of marriage because of what we saw growing up. I'm 37 years old, so I never really seen, my mother was married, but that was my mother and that was her life. But with me growing up, it was all about my friends and not seeing a father, you know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like, what is a male figure? When you got all your friends and they single, and they just out there ready to have fun, you like, yo, I like this life. But at the same time, when you get older and you don't got nobody to build with, it's like you're just a waste of time. So me, like I said, when it happened to me, I was like, yo, let me try it. Let me see what it's about. If I don't like it, then hey, I could say, at least I could say I've been married. At least I could say I tried it. I know it's like a car, right? Let me do a test run. You know what I mean? But like I said, you know, let me try it. If it works out, it works out. If it don't, then I could say, yo, I've been married once. It's not happening again, but, you know, I enjoy the time I've been married. So I tell everybody, you know, take that challenge. If that's something you want to do, do it. You know what I mean? Just forget what everybody else say. If it's something that you feel, even if it's a short-lived marriage, Kim Kardashian, not to call out her names, 72 hours. If it's like that, then do it. I mean, you say you've been married once. Try it out. Listen.
It's this whole theme of settling. You know, we're so quick to settle on a situation, whether it's in our relationships, in our careers and things. So if we expect more of ourselves, expect more of our relationship, we tend to get more. And that's what I can really seem really bothers me, is that people say, well, all men are dogs. The next thing you know, all men are dogs, guess what you're going to have? You're going to have a dog. And so, but if you say, hey, a lot of guys have issues, but I'm going to find me a good man, your chances of finding a good man are enhanced.
I think that they believe that traditional marriage somehow locks you up and it doesn't allow you to have your own individuality. Second of all, I think that they always want an escape route, or they look at the escape route. We're going to do this as long as it works for both of us, and we want to be able to drop it whenever we want to drop it. I don't want to be obligated, and I don't want you obligated.
In many of the relationships that I've noticed is that there's a lot of struggle going on, and the feeling that I don't have to take this anymore. I'm out of here. You know, I hear those words all the time. I'm out. Out to what? And that, tends to be the problem. We tend to want to run. Flight is all we talk about. We need to learn, again, how to work ourselves through problems so that we can get stronger.
As a guy who went from single to married, you'd be like, yo, I'm going to get up and leave. She ain't make me no breakfast, I'm out. But you can't be out because you're married. It's none of that, yo, I'm out. You know what I mean? Because when you say you out, you got to explain why you out. When you just boyfriend and girlfriend, you get up, I'm going home. Well, yeah, I'm like, I'm going in another room. You know what I mean? You're still in the same facility. So it's like me, like I said, marriage to me, I treat marriage like my music. It's just fun. I'm in it. Like I said, we last. I try to make it last. I just try to go as long as I can. You think what I'm saying?
A young couple shouldn't go into it thinking that it's not going to be work and hard work and years of hard work. And that it's not going to be without trials and tribulations. There's going to be plenty of those. You have to know who you're with before you get into it.
Many people are afraid of failure. And so they're scared that it's not going to work out. So I'll skip all of that hurt of a relationship that not working out, and we'll just have a kid and live together. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Well, more times than not, it's not going to work out because there's no commitment there. And then when things get tough, it's easier to walk away.
Me personally, I need to know who I'm waking up to. I need to know the rules before we get married. Like her. See, sometimes they fool you. Before you get married, they start cooking and doing stuff. Then when you get married, certain stuff, don't look at me that way. You know what I'm going. Certain stuff stops, like food. Nobody cooks no more like they used to. Oh, I fly somewhere. Nobody cooks no more like they used to. So it's certain things that when you get married, it stops. You know what I mean? But, I mean, overall, not like how you used to. What? Yeah, you got something stuck in your
Egos have to be checked at the door.
It took me a while to check.
Egos have to be checked at the door. There are going to be differences of opinion as opposed to arguments. And you can't think of them as far as winning and losing, or you can't think of compromise as you being a doormat or letting somebody walk over you. This is the person that you love. So why shouldn't they, enjoy some of the same things that you do or feel the same way or a different way? She's her own person. She needs her personal space. Young couples have to realize that too. You know, maybe their first year you're all on top of each other, but after a while it gets hot. It gets hot. If your wife needs to sleep in the bed by herself and stretch her legs out and wiggle her toes just for one night, that does not mean that she does not love you anymore. It means she's human, and it gets hot. Yeah. And vice versa. If your husband does that, it doesn't mean he's thinking about another woman or whatever. Dude just fell asleep on the couch in front of the game. Yeah. He's a guy. That's what we do.
You know, it's amazing how many times I talk to couples, and when you talk to the couples, the young lady, she wants to get married, and maybe she has a child or 2 children, but she's not training them right, okay? And she's not keeping her home right. She's not prepared for marriage, okay? She's prepared for dating, but she's not prepared for marriage, because that man is going to be looking. He may not say anything about your dirty dishes in the sink, but he knows he doesn't want to come home from work and find dirty dishes in the sink. He may not be saying anything about your unruly children, but he knows he doesn't want to come home to an unruly house.
No, it's like, you know, my thing is, you have to know. Like me, honestly, I never was the one to shack up. Like I told her, I have my own crib. I ain't need to live with no female, but, you know, you want to see how they are. You want to see how they are, how can they maintain a household, how their kids are. Because you don't want to go to somebody's house and they ain't got no furniture and they been there 8 years. You like, yo, you been here 8 years, no furniture? Or, you know, you go to their kids, you see their kids and their kids run around with diapers and, you know, she got a Fendi purse or gluey bag and their kid's not looking right. So you want to know about people. You know what I mean? You want to know if how is her bills? How are things being taken care of? You see what I'm saying? So that's why I guess some of us move in first to see. Like I said earlier, right, test drive. You know, you want to test drive it before we go around. You know what I mean?
We need to be able to start saying marriage is a good thing that we need to try to keep. Now, that doesn't mean when you're being abused, you need to stay in a situation. But when you're struggling in a relationship, we should be supporting those families and helping them to learn how to work through those things, because I think through struggles, we gain more strength and the relationships get more stronger. And we get to demonstrate to other folks how a relationship could be.
I mean, and it's different strokes for different folks. You know what I mean? If for some people it works, and for others it don't. Sometimes people move in and realize that, you know, hey, okay, no, I can't live with him. He's a slob.
Right, you mess around, he be run as a duck. You know what I mean?
I'm not a sociologist or a historian. I'm just a filmmaker who was fascinated with the statistics and what I saw around me. My question was, is there more to the romantic lives of black couples? Is there an embedded pathology as a result of being the descendants of people who suffered through generations of institutionalized oppression?
Ooh, some of the mistakes that I see them
They rush to get married. They see you're married, they see our marriage, they rush. They like, she got married, so I could do the same thing. No, boo-boo, you can't. This took time. You just can't rush into something because you see us.
Some of the mistakes that I see my sister making just in this quest to be married, I think it comes from trying to place squares into round pegs, or having this preconceived notion of what you will and will not put up with, and what I need and what I want, and it's so confusing. I think that women are hungry and thirsty for nurturing. Do you understand? Like not just having the nicest clothes, or my man gotta be fine. I mean, I did good, he's a cutie, but in addition to that, it's like you find yourself, like my friends, they want something that doesn't exist, I think, because they are afraid to really and truly look at themselves, or rather some of the things that they need to improve within themselves. So instead of focusing on things they could do to make themselves a better mate, instead they paint this picture of what they have to have so that they don't have to change who they are a little bit.
You know what it is? I'm going to include myself in that too. And I'm going to say it pre-marriage or whatever. So while I was a single woman as well. not just my friends, but me, myself, also mistakes that I've made. Rushing, trying to put somebody into that category as, oh, he'd make a good husband, and not taking the time to really get to know someone. Building a foundation is very important. Making sure that you're friends first with the person is definitely very important, because you have to remember that when you marry this person, this is it. Like, marriage does not make it better. If you walk down the aisle like, oh, okay, he beats me 5 days a week before we get married.
What's happening?
Once we get married, I know he's not going to beat me. No, boo-boo, he's going to beat you. He's going to be the same guy at the breakfast table the next day that when you put sugar in his cereal, he's going to slap you upside the head.
Word.
You know what I mean? So I think a lot of the mistakes that we make as women and stuff like that is that we rush it, we try to force it.
Starts from when we first see you. I'm going to make my opinion of you when I first look at you. You have 3 seconds to make your first impression. So as soon as I see you, from that moment on, everything else I learn about you is built on that foundation. So if I'm building our relationship from the first visual cue that I got that made you look like, and I hope the term is all right, hoochie mama, and so the rest of my relationship is now built on that, okay? And you're going to be building things to try and maybe get rid of that idea, but that was still the substratum of my first impression, and it's the foundation of the rest of our relationship.
Mistakes that we make as women and stuff like that is that we rush it, we try to force it. The one thing I always talk to a lot of my close girlfriends about is the way that we deal with relationships as women. And I know for me myself, it's like when you date a guy and you see him, if he's attractive and somebody that you like, we know within the first 5 minutes if we ever gonna sleep with you. Bottom line. And that's just the truth. And then if we do sleep with you, let's say within that week or that month or some even the first day, we matching your name with our name, we naming our kids, picking out where we living. You know what I mean? How many carats the ring gonna be? Where we gonna vacation in the summer? So I mean, I think the biggest thing is to just slow down, get to know the person that you're dating, and get to know them for who they are, what their values are. Do you believe in the same things? Are your core values the same? If you have kids prior to the relationship, how are your kids with this person? If they have kids, how are you with their kids? It's a lot of things you have to take into consideration. So, I mean, I would definitely say take your time.
They, first of all, must be totally self-confident, okay? She needs to know that she brings something to the table. And then she needs to be preparing herself, okay? Educationally, mentally, spiritually, financially, because men are going to be drawn to women who are not needy, that are not in a position where they're constantly looking for something. And you hear that quite a bit. Now, while we don't mind providing, and while we want to be part of the providers, we want to be one of the providers, and we recognize that role, we still want to meet someone that's confident. And so in the dating process, you need to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. And so that it doesn't look like you just need a husband to make your ends meet.
It's sad.
It's not sad. You know what it is? Don't take this the wrong way, you black women. Some of you black women's too doggone hard to marry. You know why? Because y'all got this to-do list, and y'all feel like if this person's not on this type of level, don't look at me like that, I'll run up on you like, but they got a to-do. And I told them, I'm just saying, the other one, listen, y'all have a to-do list. So y'all feel like if this person ain't up on the same level as me, or this and this and that, and then by the time y'all accomplish all that, and the time y'all try to get there, then when a person really want to marry you, it's too late, because you like, well, it's not this time right now. I still have stuff I have to accomplish and stuff that I want to do. There's nothing wrong with that, but schedule it. You know what I mean? You got to schedule some of it out. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, we don't see marriage, some of us don't see marriage in our future. You know what I mean? We just see, I got a girlfriend, I got a boyfriend, hey, whatever, or I got a baby mother. The marriage word really don't come in. It got to be something that you want. But like I said, some females make it hard.
The subject became overwhelming, and it seemed to be a crisis not worth exploring because it was in a state that was unsolvable. The most prominent fixture of the dialogue about the state of black relationships was the baby mama syndrome. This, as it seems, is only an end result of much deeper-rooted issues. This led me to the real question that needed to be asked. Where's the love?
They're carrying themselves as something that you would take to the movies, but maybe not something that you want to take home.
I mean, the baby mother, baby daddy syndrome, it is easy because sometimes when you have a baby, it's not planned. So it's like a lot of babies that are born aren't planned. So if they're not planned, you're not planning on marrying this person. You probably met this person that day, had sex that night, she got knocked up the next day, and now you have a kid. You didn't see her in your future, and that's where that whole baby mother, baby father coming, because nobody sees them in their future. Now, I could see if I see her, like, yeah, I'm gonna marry her and make, she might have like 30 kids. Then, then that's planned. You know what I mean? But if you just like, yo, I'm pregnant, I keep it moving. That's not planned, you know what I'm saying? So you don't see marriage. You don't, a lot of people don't see marriage. But when I seen her, I said, I'm gonna knock her up about 5 times. You know what I mean? Just give her, yeah, run up. Just run up in there.
The only way I think that we're going to get beyond the baby mama and the baby daddy syndrome is to stop creating a new pool of baby mamas and a new pool of baby daddies, because there's really going to be no way to get rid of the drama. There are too many dynamics that come to play when we start talking about that drama, if you will. Does the woman still like him? Does the man still like her? Did he just stop by and then they had this child? Was it his choice? Was it her choice? Did they agree upon it? We make too many babies by accident. And what I say to people is that when I grew up, times have really changed, because when I grew up, our parents were always running around saying, you're going to get somebody pregnant. That was the big fear, if you would, at the time. You're going to get somebody pregnant. And one of the things we're trying to do is we're trying to say, all these babies out of wedlock. We need to be talking about the bigger problem. You may be flirting with something that's going to affect the rest of your life, and we're not talking about a child. There are diseases and other things that are far more dangerous than just having a baby. So our ideas about having a baby out of wedlock has changed as a society. We used to really look down on people who had babies out of wedlock. Now, because we know that AIDS and other things are out there, having a baby doesn't seem quite so scary. You've really kind of escaped with your life. And so I think we need to start really preaching and really preaching and really preaching that you're going to have to wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, listen. Don't wanna keep talking with you. Yeah. Don't wanna let you tell me lies. Listen, babe, 'cause I am not that into you. Listen, babe, and you still look at other guys, babe. Yeah. Love always seems so hard to find. Yeah. Girl, you seem so far from that kind. Where are the butterflies that every song's about?